We now return you to hour 4 of Christopher Walken reads binary. 1, 1, oh, 1, 2.
What the fuck is this show? Hey guys, this is
Robot Slippers!
This is the podcast where we don't have a name.
Why do I smell broccoli?
Hey guys.
You're having a stroke.
Yeah, maybe Robot Slippers, maybe.
One more time. Hey guys, this is the podcast that we're trying to figure another name out for. I'm your host again.
Figure out the
Same
name
show,
for.
different name. Stefano Fontana. This is Patrick, my co-host. His beard's bigger than Texas or something. Is that what I said last week?
Fuck those introductions.
I'm
Call
sorry.
us our names now.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was paying attention.
Patrick, the guy who doesn't listen to anything, he's trying to find a topic while we're on the air.
I have my topic.
Pasquale Galuzzo.
Hey, what's up? I'm here.
Guys, this guy found an old Beanie Baby book.
What are you looking
Which
for?
shows the projected
Focus.
value. Shut up. This is my topic now. It shows the projected
We haven't even
values
started
for
the show
what
yet. What have you been playing this week? You can talk about that in a minute.
I just can't. I wanted. To...
What in a minute? What have you been playing this week?
So I caved in and I picked up the new Digimon game about 2 weeks ago, and I've been playing that a little bit too much. But yesterday, not to give away, our production value of the show. Yesterday, the new Fire Emblem games came out. The censored.
You actually
version.
found one?
Yeah, the censored version, and it was censored. This is not localized. It's bullshit. It was censored, but I picked up the Conquest one, which is a more challenging one, and I've been playing that, and it's been a lot of fun. But anyway, in addition to that, I found this pamphlet for Beanie Babies.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
I'm very interested in Beanie Babies. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Pasquale, what have you been playing this week?
Still playing Borderlands, but most recently The Division beta came out, so I've been trying that out.
We'll talk about that in a
Yeah.
minute, because I played it too.
Okay, good.
Patrick's a traitor, never played it.
I've been playing Fire Emblem. And
Fuck,
Digimon.
this is literally free for 3 days.
So's your mom.
Get out.
This is his house.
I don't care. I own this now.
That was uncalled for. His views on Pasquale's mom does not represent the company as a whole.
My mom is a saint.
Your
She's a
mom
sweet
doesn't
lady.
represent the company's whole.
Chris, please edit this entire portion out of the podcast. Patrick is just off the rails today. I have been playing.
Fuck you and your Beanie Babies.
I haven't
You got
really
a problem with Liberty and Lizzie?
the Bears hold.
Liberty.
The Bears holding the American flag.
It's the U.S. Bear.
It's adorable.
What have you been playing?
I haven't really been playing much at all, to be entirely honest with you.
I'm crying.
I don't think I think I played. I got EA access, so I played like 10 minutes of Battlefront.
Oh, that's right. You have an Xbox.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I wish Sony would give
$5
us.
a month to get like
An
1,000
Xbox?
free game.
You were so
Yeah, I really wish Sony would just give me an Xbox. It would make
I
things
called
so
them
much
4
easier.
times this week.
This way I
I
can
don't
They
just
said,
watch
understand.
"Sir,
Netflix
we
while I
don't
play
sell
my game.
this."
It makes no sense.
Sir, why are you calling
I
us?
wanted a Sony Xbox One.
There's literally nothing we could do to help you.
You're not even calling like PlayStation support. You're calling the Sony store in the mall. You're just like, "Where's my Xbox?"
Sir, this is a pet store.
So this is Sony Music. Why are you calling us? Can someone just buy this guy an Xbox? He's called us 10 times.
What? What are we doing? What?
Patrick, what's your topic?
I don't know.
Talk.
Can we talk about these Beanie Babies?
Oh my god.
Somebody found a pamphlet from 1997 featuring two. Yeah, it was okay. Featuring 2 Beanie Babies and their projected value for what they would be worth in 2007. So I guess do the math.
So
later.
10 years.
Yeah, whatever. So we have Liberty, the USA bear, a white bear with an American flag, of course. Total made $500,000. Projected to survive until 2007, only 50,000. Very interesting. The model was retired, of course, in 1996. I've done more research than any other topic I've presented. Issue price, you could originally buy this product for $5 when it first came out, and the value in 1997 was $35. The projected value for what this would have been worth in 2007 is $400.
Did you do research? Did you find out how much that bear is worth?
It says it right here on this image.
No, like now. I mean,
Oh, they're useless. They're worthless.
you checked?
Yeah.
I want you to do it on the show. On the
Oh
show.
my God.
research.
Do you own a Liberty?
While he does this, what is your topic?
Well, oh yeah, I was gonna talk about it. If
Wait, I have some. Go.
oh,
talk.
talk. No, what's your topic?
No, it won't work if I'm searching, doing the freaking mule work while you guys. Oh
But
my
finally,
God, I
he's
found
doing
it.
something.
Jesus.
Hold on, he found it.
$17.
Nice.
That's what it would be worth today.
Diminishing value.
That's
That's how
crap.
much it's going for right now on Amazon.ca/ teeny baby Liberty Bear Beanie Baby.
Not Liberty Bear, it's Liberty.
Yeah, get it right.
Liberty.
Jeez, man.
Wrong Liberty. Anyway, you can't look at this or
What's
else it
your
won't count. Okay, so as we all know, hacking in the industry is a lot of fun, especially if you have a 3DS and you still have a system made by Nintendo that's region locked, so you can't import anything. So, anytime you play a game that has like a profanity filter, you know that inside that game, there's a long list of every single bad and dirty word from all of humanity hidden in that game.
Oh, good. Okay.
We found it on the 3DS.
Oh no.
And better yet, I spent my weekend reading through all 17 pages, each with over 500 words. So I've taken the time. I know.
What do you do?
I could offend someone in every language now. They are so thorough. But I've taken the time to actually go through this list of 500 times 17 bad words, and I present to you my top 5 words that you cannot use on a Nintendo account.
I'd like to say this is an
God.
aside and just let you all know. Rated T for don't watch it if you're under 12.
No. These aren't technically bad words, which is why I have them.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like Arcooch.
Only. Stop giving away the name.
Oh,
Okay, so number 5.
go on.
Word that you cannot use in a Nintendo account.
As a user?
As a name,
As
you
like
can't
a-
post it
it's
up
like
in
a
Miiverse. You
username.
can't set a username for it. You can't like use it in a
You
text.
can't use it.
Bad word. You're not allowed to use the word bad word. Completely banned by Nintendo.
Okay.
Of course. Number 4 goes to the
apologies.
word phage. Now, I don't know what this was. I had Urban Dictionary open up on the side because I had to go through all this. I typed in phage, and you will never
Spelled
believe
how?
what it is. It is spelled F-A-D-G-E.
That's Fadge, I think.
No, it's,
it's probably
whatever.
phage.
But do you want to take a guess at what the definition might be?
Fake badge.
Good?
I honestly have no idea.
It's an Irish potato cake.
What?
That's the only definition I could find.
Okay.
You know what the problem is? They probably just heard it. They're probably trying to say the other
They're
F
trying to
word.
say Fadge.
Hey!
Hey! Chris,
I said Fadge.
Okay.
number 3, personal
I
favorite,
want some Fadge.
beef curtains.
What does that word mean?
You know what it means.
No, I don't.
Beef-
Yes, I do.
Is that like beefcake, but
Now,
like
this is another one where you guys are going to have to guess because I thought it was so many different things, but it's not.
beef
The
curtain?
word is Galtze. It's a German word, and it's
Galtze?
spelled G-L-A-T-Z-E. What do you think this word means?
Something to do with your balls?
No.
Because, like, goatsy?
Nope.
It's gonna be something random, like a pigeon or I don't know.
It is a German term for a bald man.
I wasn't too far off.
Yeah. And now
What is-
Pigeons are bald, essentially.
That's not what That's not
Oh.
what I was questioning.
And now, my number 1 word out of all 17 lists of 500 plus words. This is probably like I've been saying this just to myself because I enjoy it so much. But my new favorite word is Bumchums.
That's self-explanatory.
It's great, isn't
Like
it?
butt buddies.
I've never heard of it. But it's
Bumchums,
just so
butt
much fun
buddies.
to say.
Bumchum.
But yeah, okay.
Can that be the name of the podcast? Can we become
Welcome
Bumchums.
to the Bumchums.
What would the logo be?
Bumchums on our
Oh, you know
cooch.
what the logo would be.
Is that your topic?
No, I have something else.
Okay,
I
good.
I actually did try to look up like relevant gaming news, but nothing really happened the past 2 weeks because we weren't here last week because apparently someone thinks he's better than us.
Fuck you guys.
But the last time we were on the show, which was 2 weeks ago because we weren't here last week,
Also, just a quick question.
'Cause
How
we
do you
were
guys
gone.
feel about special guest episodes? Is that a thing?
I'm fine with
That's
it.
okay.
Okay.
I have nothing wrong with it. Why?
What
Is
What are
it-
you trying to say? He's replacing us.
We're gone. Patrick,
special
pack
guest.
your bags. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is Patrick's house.
The last time I was on the show, we talked about the Division and the whole DLC bullshit that's associated with it. So I don't know. This is something I thought. Do you guys think like the gaming industry as it is right now is it sustainable? Do you think like because we have games coming out now that have production value? I love how we go from Bumchums to like actual economic discussions.
That's good,
We
I
have
like it.
games coming out. The what's the word? The amount of money that they have for it.
Beef curtains.
Budget?
Thank you. The budget for the games are huge. it's a set market.
Beef curtains.
You could only sell as many games. Focus. We gotta. God, I'm so sorry I brought this up. They could only sell as many games as people that have the
A
hardware.
bunch of Bumchums are playing games.
Welcome to the Bumchums beef curtains.
On our gooch.
Oh, we just lost all of our viewers.
Oh boy. Either that or we gained a ton more.
You don't want these ones. Okay.
Views are views.
So,
Okay.
don't say that. Compose ourselves.
Right.
Division, video game
Sustainability.
industry, budget, sustainable.
Do you think
Continue.
like the current market for games is sustainable? You have games coming out every year that have huge budgets, like movie-sized budgets. But the amount of people that could actually buy these games, it's limited to how many people have the actual system that you could play it on. And we've seen, if like just going back to like 2008, there were a whole bunch of games coming out every single day because there were so many like box developers out there that were putting out games. They're all gone now. They couldn't sustain themselves. So, I mean, back in like 2008, 2009, you had a new game coming out every single day. Now we have like these big games coming out every couple months. Like it's kind of better for us because we don't have as much, but isn't that also kind of a negative?
I mean, go ahead.
And just my final thought before you go. It's fantastic. My final thought before you go. Now it's
Good
like,
radio.
you know, a game, they were a lot more expensive in the past, like in the N64 era, but now it's like $80 for us. Then you have the Seasons Pass, and then you have microtransactions, and they're trying to get as much money as they can. And I understand that's the purpose of a business. Like, don't get me wrong, I get that. But now it just seems that they're trying to get more and more money out of a single product that back in the day, you wouldn't even have that. So do you think, like, the way gaming goes, like, is it sustainable?
I think...
Do you think there's a market for a lot of these big, like, look at Destiny. That's a huge project with a massive budget. Do you think that was...
They've made their
But
money back
they-
and then
yeah.
some at that point with that game. 'Cause
Within the first day.
Think about it this way. Every console... So, you gotta, like, just determine who has two consoles, right? But, like, let's just use PS4 as an example. There's some odd million people that have PS4s.
It was like, yeah,
It's
38.
It's 40 now.
Excuse me.
Come on now.
If a game costs $1 and every single one of
That's
those
$40
buys
million,
one, it's $40 million.
right? So-
Yeah, but what's the budget that goes into making those games?
If Destiny cost you $500 million, which I think it did, it
Yeah.
cost half a
I think
billion dollars, right? That's what it cost?
half a
They
billion.
had didn't they have like $1 billion
Half a
budget?
billion.
Half a billion?
Yeah, but that's also marketing. So like,
I don't know if that was across all the games that they're releasing or if it's just for this first one.
I'm not sure. Anyway, regardless, $500 million. If every game costs $80 when you buy it, and everyone buys the game, like you're making well over the amount of money that
It's very sustainable, I think.
Yeah?
Because let's say like every game costs $80 and you bought and all 40 million people bought it. Like let's do the math on that. How much money you'd make?
Well, there's
Keep talking. I'm doing
Yeah,
this. Hundreds of numbers.
so if it's $80 per person, 40 million people buy it. You're easily way going over that 500 million, whatever it is, right?
Right.
Plus
The calculator doesn't show me the number. That's how much money you'd make.
32 error 9.
3.2 E9.
Yeah, but you guys are operating under the assumption that there's 100% attachment rate to
No,
this
but
game.
there's
That's how you.
How many games honestly sell over 1 million?
But
That's
then-
a huge
But
amount.
then there's DLC
A lot of
and all this other
main
stuff.
games like that always sell over. a
yeah,
million, pretty
main
much.
games.
But those are the only people that make games. There's two kinds of game makers, like you said. There's AAA developers like Destiny, like Grand Theft Auto, like Assassin's Creed. Those always sell over 1 million. If they don't,
Yeah.
then they fail,
Right.
right? And then you have indie developers, which cost way less, and then end up selling less, or even more sometimes, depending what kind of indie developer it is. But like that's the difference. You're right. There's no more middle ground because THQ is gone. All those like middle.
Yeah, they've
tier-
either been absorbed or just shut down. 'cause
Exactly,
they couldn't
right?
support it.
And it's not necessarily that they could. I think it's just because they were getting overshadowed. These other games are so much bigger.
Is that necessarily better then? Is it? I'm sorry, I got distracted massaging Pasquale. Is it necessarily better to have like a big game? Because now a new game comes out. This is like an evolution of my topic. A new game comes out, and the first thing they say is like, you could spend 400 hours in this game. It takes you 5 hours to walk across a world map. It's like, that's cool and all, but if there's nothing to do, I don't care. So now it's like the whole market for games is, look at how much time you could spend in this.
That's not an issue with necessarily the budget of a game. That's an issue with that's just bad game development.
Yeah. Like, look at, do you know the game Fuel?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's to drive diagonally from one corner of the map to the other corner of the map could take you 2 hours.
But why would you want to do that?
Exactly, but I'm saying they're just putting open world. They're making it huge, but there's literally nothing to do.
And then
with
how
it.
much
Yeah, it's
how
like,
much
think
man
about-
hour went into building that map, a massive map?
Think about
Exactly.
that Ubisoft game that was the driving game. What was it called?
Drive Club?
No, that's not Ubisoft.
The
Whatever.
newer one, though.
Yeah, it just came out.
It's a racing game.
It
Who
did.
cares?
It did really bad.
I would imagine.
But that's because the game, all it was a giant
Driving
map.
across America.
Right? It was that 1-to-1 ratio of America or whatever, right? And like it wasn't populated, it wasn't interesting, and it didn't do well rating wise or selling wise. So that might be what they're advertising, but that doesn't make a good game. Like Grand Theft Auto was good not because you could do everything in the game, but because the game was actually an interesting and well thought out
It was a living world.
game.
Right.
It wasn't just an empty world with nothing to do in it. And I think that lots of games they misunderstand that. They think they see other games' successes and they live in like echo chambers of like, oh, Fallout was successful or all these other games are successful. I'm gonna follow that, and it takes like 5 years for a game to come out, and we're already tired of it. Or there's already so many things better than it. That's what happened to Fallout 4, right? They probably started development probably 6 years ago, 4 years
Probably,
ago,
yeah.
Something like that.
since like New Vegas came out or since Skyrim came out.
Yeah.
And back then, that game would have been impressive.
Yeah, it's because they're...
But now Witcher 3 came out and Dying Light came out and games with way more interesting, more better looking, better playing open worlds
Yeah,
exist.
see, that's my thought is that if you take, for like you said, 5 years to develop a game, and at the beginning of the 5 years, and throughout the 5 years, you using the technology that was available 5 years ago,
You have to, yeah.
right? So because that's what you start off with, you have to finish with it. But then there's a game that takes, let's say, 2 years, and they start with the newer technology. It could look way better, have a lot more advancements in the game,
Right.
and took like less than half the time to complete, but might not be as big. But now this one that took 5 years doesn't seem as popular or as good because it's on older quality technology.
Yeah, like I think that having the two separate types of games are good because you have these massive AAA games that come out. Like there's like 4 or like 5 really, really big releases every like half a year, right? So like the first half of the year you have like 4 or 5 big ones. Second half of the year you have 4 or 5 big ones, and they're split up probably. Except for in that later half of the year, they're all in November because they're a bunch of assholes. But like
Yeah.
the beginning,
Well,
of
got to get them out for the holiday.
right?
Yeah.
And the beginning of the year they're spread out, kind of
little bit.
up until E3, right? And so everything in between that time that you're playing it, you get the $20 games like Firewatch or like
Right.
Gone Home or like Binding of Isaac, just games that are awesome. They don't cost as much to make or to buy,
It
but
can be made by one person.
one person,
Yeah.
5 people. Like the dev team is small, but the game content and quality is just as good. And I think having this structure allows for that to happen. When you have all these middle tier ones, you have all these people who have enough money to make a game as big as Fallout or as Destiny, but don't have as much people. Or
And it just becomes an
not
empty experience.
Exactly, it's just not like remember all those Grand Theft Auto clones that came out like on PS2 generation.
Yeah.
That were just like let's just fucking.
It was just walk around the
yeah,
city.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's getting rid of that middle tier or absorbing the middle tier to be better funded
Right.
is only improve the industry. And
So
I think,
you like this, and you like how it comes down to the big AAA guys putting out these big blockbuster games with a huge budget, and then you also like the small indie developers putting out the more, I don't want to say more polished, but more personal experience games.
yeah,
You guys,
exactly.
and you don't miss the middleman.
Like, there's always like something that comes good from the middleman, but I can see
It's-
why they're
right.
gone. It's because the bigger companies absorb them or they just die out.
Do you guys remember
So-
going to like GameStops and seeing the shelf? Not
Oh
GameStops,
my God.
indie games, the PS2 shelf or the It was
Not only
massive.
that, remember going to Blockbuster
And
and
you
you could rent a game? and
You
you're
could
like,
rent a
"What
new one
are
every
these?"
week, and you're like, sure, why not?
I missed the
Remember
middle guys.
Godfist? What was Godfist? That was
Godfist was great. Shut your mouth, Bumchums.
See,
No, but I
We
I
got
miss,
so far. We were going so well.
I miss the middle guys because like I don't know.
I feel like there was a
I've-
certain personality there that they
Yeah.
gave that the little guys couldn't give or the bigger guys couldn't give. Like it's
As I've probably said on this podcast, I'm a fan of the open market. I like having many options to choose from when it comes to my personal hobbies. If all of my games are being made by like 1 or 2 companies, it's the same experience.
But-
when you and I know what you're gonna say, but this is just my own personal opinion.
Go ahead.
When you lose all these smaller companies, or when they get absorbed, or like this is for you, Retro, they got absorbed by Microsoft. They're making shitty Kinect games now.
yeah.
Right? It's like, why? And it just comes down to the gaming industry through these big budget games, through the mass appeal that gaming now has. It's slowly becoming a monopoly between the hardware developers, which has always kind of been. You've like, what do you have? An Ouya? Who the hell cares? You either have your PlayStation, your Xbox, or your various Nintendo system. Right, and then it's like, what games are you going to buy this year? Probably something from Activision, probably something from Ubisoft. Apparently no Assassin's Creed though. like
That's a good thing.
you know what you're gonna get every year, and I don't know. I don't like that security.
But
I like the one game that comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, ooh, this
Like,
looks really cool.
But they still do. Like Dying Light came out last
They
year.
do,
out
but
of
not at the
nowhere.
same
Yeah.
level as like before.
That's
Now
true.
everything's been either absorbed or replaced.
No, Dying Light's like one of those kind of middle ground ones because it wasn't
Well-
necessarily. What's the company called again? I don't remember.
Man,
It doesn't matter, but it's
It
not.
matters. I just don't remember.
Okay, but it's not necessarily like they're not a small company at all. Like they're not an indie because
Right.
they had a really good quality game, but they're nowhere near like EA or Ubisoft or anything like to be that big.
You have to remember that
What's an
They-
indie game?
An indie
that-
game?
I don't think that word really exists anymore.
Isn't an indie game just any game not
And
made
so
by like a first party?
This is also my point. I don't think
I
indie
don't
games
know.
exist anymore. I think you used to have indie games back when you had the middle tier, but now that doesn't exist, that is the middle tier. You have larger indie game teams or more impressive indie games like
Minecraft is an indie game before I got bought up by Xbox
Well,
or Microsoft.
what's it called?
but isn't Isaac
The
an
one
indie
with
game?
the planets and
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
and you fly around.
Oh.
No Man's Sky?
Yes, thank you, No Man's Sky. It's been so long since it's announced, I don't remember what it was
Oh
called.
yeah, no, it's been 4 years.
That's
That's an indie game, but think about how massive that game is. That's bigger.
Well, that's
or as
because
big as a
didn't-
Middle
Yeah,
Man.
those indie developers. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I have to vocalize this. Indie developers somehow managed to make an infinite universe within their programming. That's great.
Well, maybe it might
Okay.
not even work. Who knows? We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but didn't don't they have funding from like Sony or something? I think I heard
I'm
that.
pretty sure Sony stepped up and
Yeah, see, so that's different. They're still
more than
getting.
But they're not developing with
That's
a
a
larger
partnership.
team.
I know, but they're still getting the funding to actually being able to
That's
Sony is
put,
just helping them with
put resources into
publishing.
it.
That's all they're doing. They're just putting in stores. It's all a publisher does, right?
I guess, but like,
Also, like for example, like my point, I guess, is that you don't necessarily always get the same games because you still have these guys putting out bigger companies taking risks on games like Square Enix making Life is Strange, taking a risk on Don't Nod, or like Ubisoft putting out Valiant Hearts. Or
I agree, and those games are great. I love every single game that came out from the Ubi Art program. Fantastic game. Life is Strange again, a smaller company from Square Enix. Fantastic. But they're still from the big guys.
yeah,
But
but
they,
see, those
they don't
are
play
used
like
to-
big guy games.
But those- Yeah.
I don't disagree, but those are the kinds of game that used to come out from the little guys.
Those are the
kind
new
of
middle
that
ground games.
most of my memories with gaming in the PS2 area and early Nintendo, it wasn't from like the main party games. It was from these unique experiences,
Not
like
from
those weird
wrestling
ones.
and Dynasty Warriors.
but
Yeah,
those
I'm
are
sorry for
those are
your
the
child.
new those are the new middle
good
ground
time.
games.
Dynasty Warriors, I spent way too many hours in.
Did you hear about the?
Sorry.
So what? No, it's fine.
No one cares what you say, you bum
You're
chum.
fuck on.
You bum chum?
Later, Bumchums.
Your gotses.
I'm gonna go sit on our couch.
No one
Nobody
gets
understands
yet.
that.
I don't care. It's funny.
Stop yelling. It's one mic.
No,
Chris, edit him out.
edit that in.
We already do that
constantly.
ourselves.
What were you saying?
I don't remember what I was saying.
All right, good.
Oh no, those are the middle ground games now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just feel dirty.
I feel like it bugs
I
you just
guess.
because they're under a bigger tier.
Big
but,
corporate
yeah,
umbrella.
But I
Okay.
want you to think about the middle ground. Sorry.
No.
But think about middle ground games from SNES and NES. Those were just Konami and bigger games making them.
You know what?
Where they couldn't. They were at Nintendo. Sorry again.
No.
Nintendo owned a monopoly on the cartridge. I was talking already. He interrupted me.
That was my fault. That was my fault.
You know what? Oh wait, hold on. He's still talking. Anyway, Nintendo put a monopoly on cartridges, so you have to make smaller companies inside your company to make those games.
Right.
So like, I mean, I don't know if it's really that different.
Was
I
it
don't know.
that they were just bigger or smaller companies like they are now? It's just that we were kids and we didn't really realize it at the time.
Maybe. You know what? And it could just be me looking at it through nostalgia,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. It's just market changes. You know, these, and I'm not against big budget games. Like, I really do enjoy my games, right? But I'm right now being able to play a Digimon game after 15 goddamn years. And I'm happy for that. And even though it is made by Bandai, which is a bigger company, is it?
Yes.
It is. Thank you. I still
Bandai
like
Namco, it's a big company.
it still has
Yeah.
that kind of polish to it that I guess I just am nostalgic
But who
about.
publishes it? Do you know the publisher?
I actually have no idea.
So that could be freaking Sony for all we know.
It
Like, you
very well could be.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the publishers, I feel like have
So it's all the publishers then. It's not necessarily developers.
with the removal of the middle ground, publishers take less of an overwatch over the games they're producing. Mm-hmm. But they also just produce more of them. So they're like, okay, we trust you guys because we bought you or we're funding you, so you got this. Like, no big deal.
Just go with it type thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess sum it up. You want middle ground publishers?
It's not that I don't want middle ground. It's just I would never say no in an industry that's slowly becoming more and more monopolized, I wouldn't say no to more options for me to choose from.
I don't disagree.
More options
Yeah.
means more people working on it, means more games coming out, means a higher chance of more creativity and more things that I would be interested in. That's all it comes down to for me, right? Because the big guys could only work on so many titles at a time.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Also, don't you think it's that like when all the big guys making games, it's all coming from the same minds. So that way, if there's more middle ground guys, there's more
Right.
like
When you play an open world Ubisoft game,
it's
you
it's
know
it's a Ubisoft game.
You
But
know-
if it's like a middle ground guy making an open world, like you'll know it's different because it's from their minds.
Right.
I think the technology nowadays removes the need for middle ground because now everyone can make a game on a low
Look
budget
fantastic,
and
yeah.
it will look good. Whereas
Right.
before, to even try and make a game, you needed a budget and a publisher and everything like that.
That is
There was
true.
there was no digital publishing, so you needed money behind you to get it in a store. Nowadays,
you need to pay for production and you
Yeah.
need to pay for retail space. And
now
you
you
have
could
to
be
do a
like
whole bunch of
Chivalry
stuff.
and play and we'll live all around the world, all developed from different places,
Yeah.
and create a game that becomes really popular.
Right.
So I think that like it's not that the industry has changed. It's that technology has allowed us to not need as much
of
back money
Yeah.
to make games.
Yeah.
I don't know. 10 years when physical games are completely gone. And
2 years when physical games are completely gone.
oh yeah, I'm being way generous.
6 months?
Wow. It's already happened.
Yeah.
in the course
Sorry
of this
guys, we're
podcast.
low.
3 years ago? What?
All right,
All right.
we don't disagree entirely.
A little,
I think we
yeah.
agree, but just from our own
Diff-
perspective.
Yeah,
is all
there's
right.
different versions.
Which is fine, you
yeah,
fucking
it's
Bumchums.
whatever. Why?
All right,
It's my new favorite word.
Beef curtains.
oh, this
Bumchums.
is gross.
Why is beef curtains gross?
Say bumchums.
Bumchums.
It's the way your mouth moves when you say it, just the
vibration.
the vernacular of it.
Get that, bitch.
Bumchums.
All right, Squire, what's your topic?
Could be a Pokemon.
I hope
Some
not.
British.
Bumchum. You squirt.
Oh God.
Super effective.
Gross.
That's nasty.
All right, my topic is so you know how Division Beta came out, Destiny Beta a long time ago came out. Huh?
Did that come out already?
Shut up.
I haven't played it. Ugh,
I hate you.
I know.
So with all these like these companies releasing betas, do you think it really has effect on if people's decision to buy the game or not?
Absolutely 120%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because if you have a chance to try out a product for free before you have to actually pay for it, and it's a product that you're already interested in,
Okay.
chances are it's just going to solidify your God, my brain is bum-chumming.
Welcome to my world.
It's just going to solidify your need to buy it.
Yeah, but
You're going to be like, cool, I was interested in this, I played it, I now know that I do like it, so now I will buy it.
But it also could have the totally opposite effect where just like this game is crap. Why did I think it was good? I'm not buying it now.
Yeah, there's a lot of
That's-
examples of... I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's a lot of examples of demos coming out that don't represent the end product.
So I think that's why they don't call them demos anymore. Demo gives people the idea that the game is actually done.
Right
Yeah.
now, they're all
And it's just a
betas.
slice. If you call it something a beta, you immediately get the forgiveness of it. Oh, it's a beta.
Oh, it's not done yet, even though the game is literally like
Yeah.
in production, printed in the store shops
Yeah.
while the beta's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just allows.
It's just marketing lingo.
Exactly. It just allows people to feel better about a game not working as well at first. Depending on how close to release it is. Like, the Destiny beta was a little bit
Well,
further
there
out.
was the alpha and the beta.
Yeah, the alpha was a little bit further out, and
Yeah.
it gave you a little more of a chance to, if they actually want to change anything. Or
I'm always
things
surprised at
worse.
how many people actually fall for that and believe it to be a true beta.
Well, they're not. They're closed. There's so many closed betas that happen. Like, you used to do it all the time for
Yeah.
Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, but
Stuff I
that's
can.
more playtesting, and that's not.
That's what a beta's
that's not really-
supposed to be.
Yeah, when the game is actually still being produced.
Yeah. The
Like,
betas.
like Division is quote unquote done right
well,
now.
yeah, well, Division and Destiny, they both have it made, and the
Yeah.
beta's essentially just to see if their service can handle
Obviously,
the people.
there's
Yeah,
maintenance that
that-
needs to be done.
That's
in,
server
in an
testing
online game.
betas, for sure. That's what
Yeah.
all that is.
But like everything's done in the Division.
Like
This isn't
Final-
a
Pretty
beta.
much,
This
for
is
the-
a hey,
for the most
try
part,
out our
it's-
game.
yeah.
How about like Final Fantasy Duskai, where they essentially released an entire game that they updated. They
Right.
updated the demo of the game before finishing the game. Finish the fucking game.
We got to make
Jeez,
sure the
man.
demo is perfect
This
for
game's
all
been
the
out- it's been
people.
like
that-
10 years.
They
this
have an
game
idea.
came
They
out.
gotta be represented
What
properly
game
in
was
the
this?
Bumchum
Final
community.
Fantasy 15. They came out with the demo that came with Final Fantasy Type 1. And it was called
It was
Final
like
Fantasy
a PSP
Duskai.
port to the PS4.
Yeah,
my
and it was called
God.
Final Fantasy Duskai. And then they released an update
That's also banned on the 3DS.
to the... This is Final Fantasy. They
No, Duske.
Deuce.
It's German for something you do not want to know
I
about.
kind of do.
Deuce. Du hast. Anyway.
It means to cut
Du
your hair.
hast no.
Oh.
They released an update for a demo. Like, make the fucking game. It's been 10 years. You were Final Fantasy. I remember this game was Final Fantasy 13 too.
Well, to be fair, we don't know that the update that was rolled out to the demo was also just a bug fix for the actual game.
But
and that
still, what's
problem
the point?
persisted into the demo.
What's the point?
Well, if you have a product on the market that is
It's not on the
buggy
market.
as hell,
Just take it off.
yeah, but still, people have it. It's
You're
all
releasing another one.
a demo is
Another
basically
demo.
It's shut
It's
up.
an image.
A demo is like, here, try our stuff. If there's something wrong with the demo with the beta, then people are going to reflect that immediately onto the end product. So it's in their better judgment to spend the time to fix that up.
Is it?
It's like when you have a store and you have a storefront. You want that to look pretty so people walking by will stop and look into the store
Except
and maybe
if I-
walk in and buy something.
I don't know if I agree.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know
look
why.
at look
you
at
disagree.
look at Destiny when we played the beta and the alpha. Loading times were god awful. They took forever.
They still are.
And we're
And
like,
it turns out that was how it actually
yeah,
is.
and we're like, in the beta, we're like, okay, maybe it's just because it's a beta.
There's a lot of traffic. It's a beta.
Whatever,
Nope.
half a year later when it came out, and we're like, all right, still crap. What the hell? Like,
Oh man, Dinklebot's voice is real stupid. What are we gonna do? It took a year to change that too.
and they gave no reasoning to that either.
He just erased from existence.
By
Never
the way,
existed.
he's younger.
No, there's still.
What?
I'm sorry. This will be the only time I bring it up. There's still a daily mission in the rotation in Destiny that when you complete it, it doesn't give you any rewards, and it's been this way since The Taken King came out. And this mission shows up all the time for the daily.
Destiny, guys.
Yeah. I just hope Division doesn't end up like that.
No, they
Speaking
will.
of Destiny, the writer of Mass Effect Andromeda left
Oh, yeah.
and went to go work for Destiny 2.
Oh.
He also made it
Now,
aside.
this bothers me
Why?
because that game's supposed to come out next year, and if they don't have a story yet,
Are you surprised?
But they,
All the writers left
they-
halfway through the beta when it came out last year.
they can pull it out of their ass. Like, they have 500
They
mil,
wrote an
whatever.
entire game that they didn't have before.
now
Taken
the
King.
writer for Mass Effect, his name is Chris
A
something.
weird last name that no one knows how to
Yeah,
pronounce.
he's a good writer.
Of course, Mass Effect.
Is that going to translate well to Destiny?
Not if it's run by Activision, where you have to report to a committee. Rating by
Yeah.
committee never works.
Yeah, because they have their own vision in their head of what the game has to be for their
They
market.
all have separate visions that filters your vision to something that's
I don't understand. Destiny has such a great story that's hidden in the Grimoire cards. It's
hidden
really
in
well
the website
written.
in the Grimoire cards.
I've always said if Bungie puts out like an official novel of like
I'd
just
read it.
one random thing that happened in the timeline of Destiny, I would be all over that
How
shit.
about this? Put it in the fucking game.
No, it's crazy. Tom.
I'd like
Wait,
to
a
actually
game,
see
a
it.
game that was sold as a game with story.
And a vast open world.
Remember back at like E3 2013 where the guy like playing Destiny, he goes out in Mars somewhere, he's like, you see that mountain? I could go there if I wanted to. Nope.
But I'm not. Don't worry. It's fine. Like,
Hey, you
'cause
see
I
that
can't.
mountain? That's literally a painting. You see this game? It's one giant loop.
See the skybox? $13,000 per pixel.
You see this watch on my wrist? 10 grand.
You see this overpaid Hollywood actor we got to do a voice of a main character? $15,000
For the
per line. Let's replace him within the year. He still gets royalty payments every time anybody buys a game.
Does he really?
Of
He's
course.
not in the game.
It doesn't matter. He's under contract still.
Why?
'Cause he's a huge
long does
Hollywood
this-
name. What are we talking
I
about?
don't know. We're
Yeah,
talking
guys.
about does the betas have effect and shit.
Beta's
Clearly-
Mass Effect.
Clearly, the beta made me buy Destiny. I should have known that was a bad idea.
That's true. Okay, I think betas have a big influence though.
Absolutely.
Like-
I agree, yeah. Anytime you're it's the same if you ever go to Costco or like a big supermarket and you have those little old Italian ladies giving out free samples of like the sausage and
yeah.
like the crackers. And you'd be like, oh, I'll try this. This is pretty good. I'm going to buy some. It's
But
the
then you
same
buy it
effect.
and take it home and you make it like shit. And then why did I buy this?
Well, it's Ubisoft. No, but it's
But
just...
anyway,
Why are you a hater?
I've been playing.
What are you talking about?
You're against Ubisoft.
I don't have anything... No, that's not true.
You just know like French people, you damn Irishman.
That's absolutely true. Chris, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Look, this is my
Chris.
problem with Ubisoft.
What are we
I
talking
don't
about?
shut up. You've called into
Okay.
question my judgment. I need to defend
not
myself. At
talking.
least give me that privilege.
I'm thirsty.
They're just a big company, and they put out a lot of games throughout every single year, and it's just repetition. It's the same thing, right? And Assassin's Creed is the biggest offender of this, and I'm glad. I'm really glad that they're taking a break. They're slowing things down. They're taking time to develop their games a little bit more thoroughly, and I'm happy for that. When the next Assassin's Creed game comes out, not this year, next year, because they're putting in the extra development time, the extra time to make sure everything runs properly. I have yet to play an Assassin's Creed game within the first couple months that didn't have some sort of server issues or some horrible bugs.
You didn't play the new one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't, because I was done with it after
good,
Unity. Unity burnt me so bad that
But
I'm just like,
Unity
nope.
was one rare occurrence.
I respect Ubisoft for one thing. They're honest. They went out and said, "Listen, guys, why are you making Assassin's Creed every year? Because you fucking buy it. You buy it every goddamn year, and you play the shit out of it, and then you complain.
And that's what I don't like.
And you know what? Why? They're honest about it.
No,
and then this is what happens. They do that, and then now, this year, way less sales on Syndicate. They're like, you know what? Let's take a minute. Let's take a knee. Let's talk about this game a hot minute, and let's just make it.
And that's what I like. I like that
they
they're
learn
doing
that shit. Most companies,
That's what they're saying. They're
Call of
putting
Duty,
out what?
it fluctuates, goes high, goes low, goes high, goes low. They're never not going to put a Call of Duty out.
That's because they
have
different
3
teams.
developers.
I know.
They're never not putting Call of Duty out.
Exactly. They have different teams, so that's why one's better than the other sometimes.
Well, sometimes they're all the same now because it's 3 years for every developer.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like one team might be better than the other team. So
You have 3 years to make this product.
It better fucking be
you
good.
have a huge, already accessible source of just codes,
Unadulterated
textures,
money.
and everything that you could do. A stupid amount of money.
Again, you were saying...
What are you going to make in that 3 years?
But
you have to make a shooter
What
game
is our
based around a
topic?
war. I don't know.
Hang on,
This is our topic
hang on.
now.
Okay.
Just
You
go
were-
with it.
You were saying Assassin's Creed, it's repetitive and all that.
Right.
But to be fair, how many different variations of something can you think of? Like,
But that's it. End it.
My issue,
You're done.
My issue with Assassin's Creed is not the repetitiveness. 'Cause I like Assassin's Creed. My issue with it is that it's still broken in the same ways. The combat's still junky.
Yes.
The movement's still choppy. They only do slight improvements. Like, if you gave me a perfectly polished movement and fighting game, and with that good of a story and environment and how good it looks, it would be my top 5 games of the year every year.
And I know that you're gonna hate me for bringing this up, but Nintendo is very
hate you.
repetitious. But their games fix the problems in between them. They don't let countless generations go on. I'm talking about the mainline series, the games, not the hardware.
Okay.
Hardware has their own issues. But if
different
there's
world.
any ever a problem in
names.
a Mario game, they acknowledge that and they fix it.
But there
right?
isn't
But they don't
any.
let it go. They never say the combat in the Zelda game is kind of really annoying. People didn't like it. A lot of people said that for Skyward Sword with the motion stuff. They got rid of it. They adapted. They didn't let it go on for generation year after year of the same problem.
But the problem with Assassin's
Ubisoft
Creed
doesn't do that.
But it was because they were coming out yearly, they couldn't do that. But people still bought it anyway. Oh, this is really bad controls, so I'm just going to play all of it over
That's
and over.
one of my biggest problems with the gamers. It's this game's horrible. How many times have you bought it? At least 4? Why are you supporting it if you don't buy it? Well, they put it out.
Yeah.
So what?
I want to quote Colin Moriarty, vote with your damn wallet.
You honestly,
if you don't like something, don't buy it.
gamers have the lowest amount of willpower out of any human species.
Everyone who complained about Mass Effect 3's ending, they're all going to buy Mass Effect Andromeda. They're
yeah.
Mass Effect!
There was a
Yeah.
massive
And then they
outpour from
complain
every
about that too.
Bumchum. It's
Doesn't matter what it's
everybody
about.
hated the ending of Mass Effect 3. What did they do? They bought it.
Yeah, they bought
They heard the
DLC.
complaints. It's wow, that sounds horrible. I'm going to get it.
I got to see how bad this is. I'm going to play a 30-hour game to see.
To Reddit, I need to complain.
You know, it's so... oh, man. It's dumb. Yes, betas are good. They help.
Yeah, good job.
Okay.
Well, good topic.
Go way off topic.
No, we
Okay,
didn't.
it was a better topic than you came up with.
All
Sorry.
right, I couldn't. Listen.
It's not your fault. My topic's not very good anyway.
For the amount of preparation we've done, this show's going pretty well.
It's 10 minutes of nothing.
Why don't we just bullshit every episode? That's what we do anyway.
Don't you dare. You just want to get out of doing a minimal amount of work per week.
Literally think of something to say.
Stefano,
I can't get you to stop talking most of the time.
Hello.
it's me.
It's me. Oh, look.
That's
Never
it.
mind.
Copyright strike. Stop that.
I stopped.
We're banned from YouTube.
It's not funny. That could happen.
You can't type our podcast name into 3DS anymore.
You already can't.
You can't type it because we don't have a fucking name.
Stefano, what would you like to talk about? This
I want to
lovely,
talk about
night?
review scores. I want to talk about if you think they matter, if you think all sites should get rid of them, if Metacritic, all that kind of stuff. I feel like we might have actually talked about
I think we talked about this. Let's talk about it again.
I'm gonna write down. Our
I think
topics.
for
Ken Bar, make me a
majority-
list of all of our topics.
Ken
What
Bar,
else do you do?
come on, man. Jeez. I think that
Well,
for
make
a
you guys an animated
majority...
intro, guys. I'm British. Lie me. Eat fucking tea and shit. Oi, governor, give me some fucking lists.
You just offended many people.
We have 3 viewers.
Doesn't matter.
None of them are British except for that one guy. He's our friend. It's fine.
just for this episode, we're gonna get like all of Britain just watching our shit. Like, what is this fuck?
Well, listen just to hate us. The video game industry. Go ahead.
I want to point out that I did not comment on that. I think that for a
If you don't
majority,
like these guys, go to Farewell.
if you want to be pro-British, go to Fairville TV. Fairville TV. I have my own website. Jesus.
What was your topic?
For many
critic
review scores, it just seems that a majority of people are like, this is a game that I could play. It immediately gets at least a 7.
Okay.
Depends where you go, but yeah.
No, the way I think of it is, imagine you're a teacher and you know a student is good, and then you're like, and you don't feel like marking papers. Like, hey, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Mr. D. No? It's a comedy
Sounds like a personal show. I don't know if you're talking about this here.
It's a comedy show, don't worry.
Mr. D, huh?
Shut up! He's a teacher in the show. Shut your
How
mouth.
many pennies is that one?
But shut up. Anyway, he's marking students' papers and shit, and it's like, all right, this student's good, A. This student's shit, F, whatever, right? So I'm pretty sure that's what critic scores are. So it's like, all right, this is from Ubisoft, 7, let's say, whatever. Oh, this is from...
I have a problem with
this
that.
is Bethesda, 8.
a serious
That's
problem.
the thing.
That's horrible.
They're just bullshitting it now, just based on what it is.
So, my point, I don't think review scores are a thing, and not because of that reason, because that would be, if that was really how it worked, that would be a really good reason not to have review scores. That's stupid.
And then you have
I
companies,
feel
of
like-
course, paying review sites to give them a good
Yeah,
That's
no,
not.
but that's what I
proven.
feel like it is, because
No.
you'll always see an Assassin's Creed or something
Not the,
get a relatively...
maybe not the big guys.
Are you implying that you were paid to get a review?
Yeah. Of course
Not
not. I
out of
would
my
never
pocket,
do that.
is it?
Yeah, you're actually paying for it.
Shit.
I send a check to everyone who watches the
So
podcast.
my problem with it is that they're inconsistent. Every different, all websites have different degrees of rating. Some people think a 7 is medium. Some people think a 5 is medium. Some are harsher. Some are they have different guidelines for the review systems. And when you have that, you can't to compare two reviews is impossible, because a 10 to one person could be a 9 to, because some people count 10 perfect game, like nothing can be improved. Some people take a 10 as I had a really, really great time. I'd play it again. Like, there's nothing I had a problem with.
I think that whole like perspective change of like what is considered a 7, what's considered a 5.
They're on
more
different sites.
more so lies in the fact that every single game is at least a 7. So since every single game
should be at least be a 5.
every game, well,
Unless it's
it
bad.
should be. I agree, but like anything from IGN, it's like they put out a new game, at least a 7, 7.8, 7, whatever. That's the baseline. So if or it could just be, maybe we're being too pessimistic. Maybe just games that are coming out are generally good.
They're okay.
Maybe that games that actually get past cert testing and actually get produced are good games. A lot of people don't seem to talk about that. Everyone's like, every game is shit.
Well, that's because you go on Reddit and /V hates video games. You know what I'm saying? Like, the issue isn't necessarily. Is he asleep? The issue isn't. Sorry, there's a hobo living on our couch.
Our couch. Where you go?
He can't just
He is
the
asleep.
podcast.
He's
Oh,
on
man.
my couch.
So the issue isn't necessarily that games, like you remove the middleman, like we talked about. To go back to our other topic, like you remove that middleman, and now you have games either being made by really good, not really good developers, really big developers, where
Right.
they have a little more filter on what gets put out, and they're not going to put out a game that's shit. They just won't make it. But like, and even if they do, like Tony Hawk was slammed, it was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Slammed by Mr. D.
Actually, he makes a good point. Like, you might see those big developers, because now they have the resources. They won't put a shit game out if they think it's shit. So that's why it's always going to be around a 7, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So
Also
if there was that
but
middle,
also-
if there was that middle developer where they're putting out a games like
out of their own pocket.
out of their own pocket, where they don't necessarily think it's as good as it could be, but for them, if they get a 7, they might think it's like, wow,
that's
that's
awesome,
fantastic.
yeah.
But
That
if
is
they get
really
a 5,
good.
that's what they expect, maybe, right?
Right.
So maybe that's because before we used to see 5s and shit more often. It's because those middle developers were there.
All right. Well, I think like we could sit around here and talk about like the legality of quote unquote review scores for a very long time. But now, have you ever been influenced by a review to actually go out and play the game?
Not
'Cause
by a number.
For me personally, I need to get my hands on it and actually try it out myself, because what I like is What I like is different from like what the guy reviewing the game likes.
so
Yeah.
this is my point, I guess, is that for me it has nothing to do with their. Sorry, Pasquale.
Wasn't going to say
You
anything.
looked disappointed. I was like, oh man, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm thinking of
That's his
something.
default look.
I'm thinking of something.
Oh, he's cooking us something up.
Oh man. So for me, it's like I go to people that I trust and think of when I like their reviews.
Right.
So like I used to love Adam Sessler. I thought he was like, me and him agreed. We jived on what we liked, so I'd go to him whenever he did a review on a game that I wanted to play, and because we thought similarly on video games, I'd listen to him. Colin Moriarty, Greg Knight, we think the same on video games we like, so I'll listen to them.
Right.
Chris Plant used to work for Polygon Networks for The Verge. I agree with him. Alyssa...
He's promoting other people on our show.
What do you want from me, man?
If you want to hear Stefano's personal opinions, go to Twitch TV /Bumchums. It's a new hour-long segment.
I hate you.
Stefano's Bumchums.
Danny O'Dwyer.
Bumchums.
I agree with his reviews, you know? So I'll go to those people specifically. Alexa Korea, she's cool. These are all people that I agree with, so I go to them specifically for games to see if I'll get a game. And that's like where I land on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but still, I'm not going to look at a review score. Like, I've seen games before where I saw it might have gone like a 5 or 6, and I'm like, I really wanted to play, and I'm like, I'm not going to trust this. I have to go try for myself. And then when I'll get it, I'll think it's actually really good. Or I might agree.
I'm kind of curious.
This is a long time ago. I'm just thinking
like
back.
Haze? That game was shit.
Haze? I never played that.
Yeah, that's why.
What is that?
It's bad.
Okay.
It's a PS3.
For me, I know myself enough to know what games I'm gonna like. I like honestly, I can't remember the last time I sat down and read a review for a game.
I actually like to read reviews after I play games.
Really?
To see where my opinion lands.
I get interesting to see like how if you agree with them or not.
Yeah.
Like I think the most I'll do is like maybe open up a Metacritic and just see. Like,
I refuse to do that.
See, that's but I just look at like the numbers. I don't read anything. I just like, oh, this is like the culmination of the perspective.
And this is where we disagree. I think that's why I think Metacritic's stupid, because Metacritic only takes 10-point scales.
Right.
So any review site that doesn't have a 10-point scale doesn't get considered. Any review site that doesn't have a score doesn't get considered. And so you're only taking from a very select few sites, and it's just creating an average. And I don't really know the context behind that, which is what I mean by the difference between scores, right? A 7 at GameSpot is the same as like an 8 to a 9 at IGN.
Right.
So you have to read the review and see what they like and didn't like.
Yeah.
You could be like, this is a 7 because the gameplay is a little sluggish, but the story is really, really great. If you don't care as much about gameplay, you get through it, you'll play through it, then the story will be better for you. Then it doesn't matter if you got a 7 or not, you'll still like it. So Metacritic to me is just like, it's like looking at the forest through the trees. Like you're not seeing the full idea behind what they thought.
Also, I find if you do read the review before you actually play the game, it influences the way you think of it. So like, for me, sometimes I'll go in and I'll read something where it says, like, the combat isn't as like good as it could be. So then when I'm playing and I'll be doing the combat, I'll be like...
really paying attention.
I'll be really paying attention and I'll be like, okay,
this is horrible.
And I'll be like, yeah, it was right. But if I just go in without thinking of that at all and playing, I'm like, this is fun. Like, I like this, right? So... But
it could be the opposite effect. Like, for example, when everyone was talking about Nelly Furtado ruining the national anthem, I thought, like, literally it was the worst thing I ever heard in my life. And I listened, I'm like, meh.
I mean,
so, like, it could be like, this is the worst gameplay ever. I feel like they're like, nah, not that bad. Like, it's okay.
But now, keep in mind, most reviews are written by people that sit down and play games every single day, every hour of the day. They have played every genre. They have played every AAA game, every horrible person in their basement game. They're probably a little bitter.
Yeah.
And when your job is to sit down and scrutinize a game, not to enjoy it, not for fun, but because you get paid to break this game apart and find any flaw that you possibly can, you're looking at it through a lens of negative objectivity. You're not looking at it, this is fun. I'm not saying this, I'm not applying this to every single person that writes reviews. But when your job is to break down a game, right? You can't convince me that doesn't color their perspective a bit.
Oh, I don't think you're wrong, but I think that's where it changed. I think when you start boiling things down to a score, you're forced to look at something a little more critically.
You have a checklist in your head.
Exactly.
Like, does combat
so you have a rubric,
flow? Good.
Right? So, but if I'm just like, okay, you have to go play this game, write why you like or didn't like it, that is going to be a less bitter look at it, because now I'm just going to play the game like I would normally, and just see if I like it or didn't like it, you know? When you apply a score or like a grading to something, you want to scrutinize them more. You want to create a rubric and compare them all to each other and see why things are good or why things are bad. And I think that is when you get issues like that, when you have reviewers back in the day, especially before... And I think also that changed a lot when sites started publicizing their reviewers. Mm. When they started becoming faces and people you could go look up their reviews specifically, that kind of changed the way reviews were done. Before it was IGN gave this a review. Now it's Alexa Ray Korea gave this review. Colin gave this. It's this person reviewed this game.
Because it's their opinion.
And this is their opinion.
Yeah.
And so that's that's changed how games are reviewed and what you're expected to see out of a review. And I think that's for the better because of exactly what you just said. When we were younger, it was like you had to they played the shit out of that game, played every corner, every moment.
Yeah.
They had to see anything, and it was
Before, like, when there were no reviews.
Yeah.
There was no internet.
yeah, exactly. They were in Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything would
That
be in a
came to your
magazine.
house like a month after the game came out. It's like
You already bought it. You already hated it. It's fine.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Do you all read reviews ever?
No. Well,
Not really.
if
I might if I'm like super excited about a game, but like for the most part, not really.
yeah. Like back when Nintendo Power was around, I was a subscriber and I got those and I read those. But I never really like. I don't know. I don't really. I guess I don't care. I don't care about other people's opinions. It's good to know about them, but like it's not going to change mine.
I need to play a game to see personally if I like it. Like I'm not just gonna trust somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
like
let
me
it-
in The Division.
I download the fucking thing.
Jesus,
I don't.
It's fun.
that was the most contained rage I've ever seen. It's like, did you just implode a little bit in there?
Little.
That's how black holes
lost
are
a
made.
piece
I
It's
think
hard.
I lost brain cells.
Well, that happens.
That's
There's not money to lose.
too much of that Mr. D.
That's a show. Look it up.
I'm not disagreeing that it's a show.
It's a comedy.
I bet it is. Really funny stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Don't do a show without us, you bastard.
Bumchum.
I might have to.
You open these beef curtains, see your bumchum
So reviews are
on our
good.
couch.
No one gets what you're
I
saying.
don't care.
You know Disney was also banned?
Was it really?
Like just the word Disney.
Why?
I don't know.
Does Disney mean something other than what
I think
we
they
think
just
it
don't
is?
want people. Why are we talking about this?
Okay.
All right.
Reviews. I listen to review discussions mostly, but I'll also read them depending, like I said, if I like them.
I understand that the industry needs reviews, and that for a lot of people they're helpful. But for me personally, I'd rather just get my hands on the game and play them.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So if we can get some,
All right,
get some
guys.
backers so we can review some games.
Yeah,
you know, give us some
I
free
mean,
games.
You know what I'm saying?
Black
Watch
Shell Media.
watch a review of Life is Strange. I posted
Division,
that.
you
Yeah,
know,
for
come
sure.
I'll
Yeah.
review that.
I'll review anything.
Literally anything.
Yeah,
you want me to
literally.
I
review.
will review the new My Little Pony game.
I won't do that.
No, I wouldn't.
Stop. It's
Wow.
not the kind of fans we want. All right,
You're
guys.
not a brony?
All right, guys. This has been a good episode of Whatever Our Name Is podcast.
Can
We're
that be
still
your name?
RumblePac.
Can that just be your name, whatever her name is?
Bumchums.
What's her name?
It's very bad for SEO.
What do you mean? If you type in "what's our name,"
Thank you all for listening to
Okay.
this week's episode
Yeah.
of Fairful and Friends.
I hate you.
If you want
Ban
to continue to get
Fairwell.
more Fairful, go to
it's actually
Twitch.tv/.
just called "and Friends" now.
Fairwell's kicked out. It's really just Stefano. We kicked both of them out.
All right.
He took 2 hours
Let's
to
go
get
make
here.
our own.
We're
thing.
actually just guests.
Yeah.
This is all it's
Let's
been.
go make our own thing.
Episode 8?
I don't know.
Bitches!
That was horrible.
Zero.
Recording.
You should record.
That's what
We
I'm
do.
Yeah. Usually goes at the end.
Why do we have to have a topic? Just
Okay.
fuck it. Just let's bullshit. Just
we
that's the
did
whole-
that and we got yelled at by Kembar.
Fuck Kembar.
Keep this in. Chris, keep this in, please.
That's
Chris was supposed to be
that's
here,
the whole.
you traitorous
This show
bastard.
is just us bullshitting. That's our name, bullshitters.
You can't do that.
What's that?
Yes, we can.
We can do whatever we
Do
want
anything.
You know what's bullshit? It's already taken by Vancouver Video
You
Game
know what
Nerd.
really grinds my gears?
Yeah.
My
That's offensive.
my mama said, my mama.
Are you have a topic yet?
No, why?
What are we calling ourselves?
Our
Browse the Reddit.
cooch in the middle of the house.
No, we cannot be our cooch in the middle of that.
Our couch. Hey, our couch. Our couch.
Yeah, our couch, yeah.
Our couch. Our couch.
Can we be our couch? Is that a thing? Are
Is that?
going with
Can we do that though? Like, are we doing it?
What are you asking me for? It's not my show.
Listen, Farvel and friends, we want your opinion, asshole.
Hey, there we go.
Look,
Done.
if
Fair
people
one,
type in AR couch, are they gonna get what they want?
No. Because they shouldn't be typing that in on YouTube.
We should get the thing to our cooch as well, just in case they misspell
And so, like, if they type in our cooch into the URL,
just redirects
it auto
back to
redirects us.
Type in our cooch, please.
There's a guy.
Patrick,
Danny
do it.
Sexbang had up
Doing it.
3 guys have anal or something as a URL. And
Is that a penis? What the fuck?
I think that's someone's face.
it's a parrot face. That's a podcast. Is that a penis?
Is that actually?
We now return you to episode 3.
Is
Is
that
this a penis?
Where we look at normal things and wonder if they're penis.
Number 1.
This is a banana. Is it a penis?
No, I'm on Reddit.
What the
looking at-
What?
What are you looking at?
Hold on, it gets better.
Is that a baby or a adult or what the fuck?
It's a cosplay for the Binding of Isaac.
That's terrifying.
No, it's not. That's fantastic.
No, that's terrifying.
That's terrifying. What is that?
That's
Is that a
legitimately
baby? Is that a
scary.
man?
Chris is gonna kill us when he has to go through 13 minutes of fucking bullshit. You understand that?
Delete it.
Start the show.
No, what are we called?
I don't know.
How about that? I don't know. Just I don't know. That's her name.
Our mom's
But
podcast.
okay,
That should be your
RumblePac for the
topic.
next week. But we need to have like a proper name ready for like the next week, because I'm not gonna be promoting shit up on my channel if it's not even gonna be
illegitimate
official.
on fucking Farwell and Friends. Fuck you.
This is Farvel
Go
and
on
Friends.
Google, type in random names or random words.
Name generator. Be like
Just
Wu-Tang name generator. Look up the Wu-Tang name generator. That's what our name is.
Podcast
Wu-Tang?
name
Wu-Tang name
generator.
generator.
Wu-Tang.
Take off my goddamn robot slippers right now, boy. I swear to God.
Can you be called robot slippers?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of like that.
That's amazing.
Done.
All right, we're robot slippers.
I like. Check it first.
I'm not checking shit.
I checked in couch game, whatever the fuck it was called.
Apparently, it gave you an aneurysm as well.
Chris, I love you. I swear. This is not my idea.
Type in robot slippers.
I'm generating 25 goddamn podcast title names.
I like.
Robot
What did I just
slippers.
say? Robot slippers.
I've already opened
Oh,
up
that
the
sounds
tab.
like robot chicken though.
That's
what
fine.
people are gonna type that in.
No one's gonna think robot slippers and robot chicken are the
I
same.
did.
thing. You're an idiot.
What are these names? The John and Wolfgang Minute. The Rob and Mary Show.
Henry,
The Sunshine and Joe Hour.
Can we be called the Robin Mary Show featuring no one named Robin Mary?
Frank and Betty Sue. These aren't podcast names.
Rocky Mountain Technology.
Electric Soundcasting. They're just putting words together.
That's what we're
That's what
doing.
it is.
Cyber Vibe Show. Cyber Audio
California
Casting. This
Virtual
has generated another 25.
I'm looking
Jane
up
and George.
Robot Slippers podcast.
Jane and George Podcast.
No, just type in robot slippers. See what
That's
comes
gonna come up with fucking things that are robot slippers.
Oh my god, no, we need to use this one. The Positive Pleasure Show.
No.
Why not?
Giant robot
Wait,
slippers.
Who likes Portal?
It just comes up with actually.
Okay, why
Eva
don't you
and
just
her
say-
son. What the fuck?
Kathy and her son.
Why don't you just put in Cakes Real?
I don't want to get sued by
Otto and
Valve.
his
He
son.
shows up with a fucking.
Wolfgang and his
We're
dad.
still recording.
The plate that the cake
Cut out
was
this
on.
middle bit.
No, keep it here.
The Dutch and his mom. All of them.
That's our podcast today. Trying to figure out a name.
That's what I said. That should be
Yeah.
your topic.
That's our
Robot
topic.
You're
Slippers.
bickering for like.
We are not bickering, we
So-
are conversing.
Wait, so who edited?
No.
Chris.
We have a guy.
Oh, it's Chris.
We have an audio guy.
We
Audience,
out-
this podcast will be us trying to figure out what the hell we're going to call ourselves from now on.
We have
So any
Flipper.
suggestions, put in the comments below.
No, he's gonna make all of his followers say Farrell and
I
Friends.
swear to God. Don't choose Faribault.
Chris! Put in Farewell and Friends.
I'll punch you.
Get out of my chair, boy.
I'm looking.
Get out of my chair,
Look
boy.
up robot slippers. It's not showing up on my phone.
Get out of my chair, boy.
Shut up.
Can we be called Get Out of My Chair Boy?
I will put a torch next to your hair, and with the amount of product you have in that thing, you will
I have no
burn
product
for
in this
fucking-
thing.
Really? That was impressive. Get out of my chair!
It's greasy. That's the difference.
It's not
I'm
grease.
just kidding. You greasy fucking dago wop bastard.
Wow.
Can
I'm Italian,
Can we
it's
go to
fine.
the Pleasure Podcast? I really like that.
I
one.
thought you were going to say Pleasure Palace.
All right, guys, you ready to start?
We
No,
started
we don't have
already.
topics. What's your topic?
I told you my topic.
Fucking listen.
Patrick,
I have a topic. I've had one.
you
all
cockstain.
along.
Okay. So, is actually when we're talking about names?
Motherfucker.
Do you wanna do that?
Did you know Monster? Did you
All right, hold on.
Shut up.
We have a stupid amount of background noise. Set up the pillows at least. Let's try to reduce some of the bleed.
I'm going to make myself bleeds any second now.